Welcome back to the channel. Well, we have more activity going on here. Things are looking good when it comes to the development of the Bankcoin companies. This article is titled Flare Lands Second Public Company for its XRP DeFi Framework. It's so strange. Like the other day, we were just talking about this, where I was referencing companies that were building on the XRPL and bringing staking to the XRPL. Was Flare also one of the companies talking about AI? I believe they did mention it once, but I'm not sure what they have been doing with it since that time. But they definitely have been in the game for a long time when it comes to staking and lending, etc. But this article begins here. Combined with Firelight, Flare's restaking layer, the setup lets companies convert XRP into FXRP. I think most of us know about that, right? And allocate it across decentralized lending, staking, and liquidity protocols. All right, let's scroll down past the massive picture and let's get to the article. This is XRP slow push into institutional finance just picked up another backer. My word, what's going on here? Bear with me one moment, please. Data-focused blockchain firm Flare announced on Friday that Everything Blockchain Incorporated, a U.S. listed company, has signed a memorandum of understanding to adopt its XRP finance framework for corporate treasury yield. I told you. This is a good time period. This is a good sign. This is a great sign. So let me calm down a little bit. But it's exciting, in my humble opinion. If you have a number of companies that are building XRP treasuries, and we know that they are, but they're looking for yield, they're looking to stake, they're looking to lend, which means they're going to be holding onto that XRP for some time. I don't know how long, but does it matter? At some point, that accumulation it all culminates in that price going a little bit higher. How high? I don't know. But they've been collecting a lot of XRP. I'm going to assume, all right, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I'm going to assume that those accumulations are going to increase in the future. If not per each company, and I think that it will be per each company is going to go a little bit deeper. They want that yield. And we saw the same thing happening the other day with, I can't remember what company it is, but they were doing it with Solana. They're going to be staking a lot of Solana. They bought a lot of Solana. And I said that they want that. They saw what retail was able to do. They saw the yields. They want it. And that's great for people that are holders of these particular things. My humble opinion, not financial advice, but that price is going to go up. So per company, they'll increase, in my humble opinion. And then there's going to be a multitude of new companies coming in. Most companies are not involved in crypto yet, although they have shown interest in getting involved. So what does that tell you? I believe it should say to any reasonable person that the future is very bright when it comes to Bankcoin companies. But it continues here. Let's continue on. It continues. The move comes months after NASDAQ listed Vivo Power International PLC committed $100 million in XRP to Flare's ecosystem, making EBZT only the second public company to do so. The agreements mark early steps in Flare's effort to turn XRP, historically a non-yielding asset, into a productive instrument for institutions. And they definitely want that. There's so many things they can do with the yield. They can reallocate a lot of funds. They can allocate a lot of funds just outright. There's going to be a lot of new value they're going to be able to play with. This will be very interesting, especially. So it's starting here, but it will be interesting to see what banks are going to be doing with something like this. All right. And that definitely is coming. They let that be known early. They want lending. They want that lending aspect. But with lending comes staking. But I think they're going to customize that a little bit more. They're probably going to shave a good amount off of that to offer to their customers. But the customer is still going to get a great deal, in my humble opinion. But we shall see. I don't work for these banks. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm just going off going by my estimations. It says at the center of the framework is Flare's F-asset system, a trustless bridge. Well, we know what it is. I don't want to preach to the choir. We're very familiar here with F-assets and stuff like that, and that entire system. It says, quote, XRP, now a roughly $150 billion asset, has been a cornerstone of digital finance for more than a decade, Yet institutions have had few ways to make it productive. Well, there's no need to even go into that because there's a new age now. Crypto has been unleashed. There's a massive rush. We covered that in the video yesterday. If you didn't see that, make sure you check out that video. It was very good in my humble opinion. But there's a massive rush towards the adoption of bank coins and bank coin technology. And we have a variety of different companies that are working towards bringing yield by way of XRP to their customers. SBI has said it. We know Ripple has talked about it. You have Flare working on it. You have a lot of different companies working on this. So it's going to be here. It's going to come. And this is going to be a very good thing. So now let's move on to this next article here. So this next article is titled Raoul Pal sees XRP poised for strong uptrend as full porting begins. Raoul Pal suggests XRP may be nearing another big rally, similar to its surge from 20 cents to over $2 in 2021. It says prominent financial analyst, prominent financial analyst Raoul Pal says XRP is entering a phase he calls, quote, full porting, unquote, a process that signals the token could soon break out of its long consolidation and begin a strong new uptrend. Pal, chief executive global macro investor, shared a chart that tracks XRP's price history over a decade. The chart shows several long periods where the crypto moved sideways within falling wedges or descending triangles before breaking sharply higher. He argued that the current setup resembles two earlier cycles that ended with powerful rallies. Quote, full porting, unquote, in his framework means an asset has completed years of compression and is preparing to move into an expansion phase. Well, you could just go by the catalyst for that. I mean, it's been heavily suppressed. It's been unleashed just like a spring that's been like this. And now it's, you know, the forces are being taken away. So it's going to rapidly expand. And then all of the different institutional interests, obviously, there. I say just stick with I think the catalyst, you stick with the catalyst in plain language. It makes it much clearer to people what is going to happen, especially if they want to do their own research into these things. It continues on. In XRP's case, compression refers to prices being trapped in narrowing ranges with volatility gradually declining. Expansion happens when the token escapes those limits and often surges in a parabolic run. Powell believes XRP is at the turning point now. The XRP chart shows four major structures. Between 2014 and 2017, the token traded inside a descending triangle before breaking out and joining the wider bull run. From 2018 to 2020, it repeated the pattern, this time within a falling wedge, before surging again in late 2020. A third cycle formed from 2021 to 2023, when XRP slipped into another wedge against long-term support. That period ended with a breakout in 2023 and early 2024. The present pattern, according to Powell, is an ascending triangle forming just below the long, elusive $3 mark. At the time of writing, XRP traded at around $2.90, down 3.4% on the day and nearly 7% over the past week. The token continues to face resistance at $3, a level it has struggled to reclaim since its rally in 2021. Full porting could trigger rally years in the making. Powell's suggestion of full porting implies that XRP could soon escape this structure and enter in a new expansion phase, potentially echoing its past surges. In 2021, for example, it climbed from 20 cents to $2. All right, so where does he believe it's going to go now? And I beg your pardon, folks. I haven't experienced this in years. For some reason, the last few days, my allergies have been going insane. Unbelievable. I haven't felt, and I don't know how that works, why allergies would come in, and at one part of your life, they're really affecting you. For me, they've gone away for decades, and all of a sudden, just the last few days, like I said, I haven't felt this in decades. The eyes burning, nose running. It's been unbelievable, I'll tell you that much. So that's what I'm battling against. I took a little bit of allergy medicine. It has not kicked in yet. All right, as you can see. But I'm waiting for it to do its job. So there you know. Now you know. All right. So XRP is looking good. Even Rob Powell believes XRP is going to have some sort of rise in price. It should be significant in my humble opinion, but we shall see. Not financial advice. Now let's move on here. I wanted to do a little bit of Bitcoin news. Let me slide the Bitcoin news up here. Bear with me one moment, good people. So now this article is titled Bitcoin price today. Sudden crash. They're calling it a crash. Sudden crash to $109,000. Is $116,000 lifeline possible? Once again, I want to just start off saying I'm not worried about Bitcoin at all whatsoever. Bitcoin witnessed a sharp decline in the past 24 hours, dropping below the crucial $110,000 level after briefly touching a daily high of $113,000. The cryptocurrency slid to $111,000 before plunging further to a low of $109,000. It's a nice little breather, whether it's an artificial breather, like I can't remember the word. I was trying to draw this word out. My apologies. But whether someone's behind, companies are behind the price going where it is or not, it's a natural breather. This always happens in crypto. You get a little bit of consolidation, you get a dip, you get a crash, no big deal whatsoever. We've been through much, much, much worse. And as we're learning the solidness of these new catalysts, I mean, I'm not concerned with this at all. Long term, and I would say long term and semi long term, right? Because short term, you're going to have stuff like this that's going to occur. But semi long term to long term, Bitcoin is looking great, in my humble opinion. And even with this from 113 to 109, not that big of a deal, not that big of a drop, in my humble opinion. We've been seeing consistent resilience in Bitcoin over the last few months. I mean, why would we stop? Why stop believing that resilience is going to be there now? I believe it's going to be. Companies are going to look at this as an opportunity. We've already seen signs of that. So I'm going to give it some time, and I'm going to take a look at that and see who's been buying. I'm going to take notes of those names. How much have they been buying? Is it the same companies as usual? Are there new companies getting involved with Bitcoin? What are nations saying about it? All of these things are going to matter, but I think what's going to come out of this is a lot of good information, in my humble opinion. And then Bitcoin train continues to roll forward. But let's continue on here. Key technical outlook for Bitcoin. This may be a shorter video than normal, just to let you know, because like I said, those allergies are running wild on me right now. And I'm feeling it greatly. So now you know, in case it's a shorter video, okay, we'll get back to regular length video the next day, just in case. Technical analyst Captain Fibik noted that Bitcoin is still moving within a descending channel on the 4-hour chart. According to him, the $107,000 support zone will be key to watch in the short term. If this level holds, he expects a reversal that could push Bitcoin back toward the $116,000 area over the weekend. The chart shared by Fibik highlights the lower boundary of the channel near $107,000, while the upper boundary aligns with $116,000 region, making it a natural upside target should a bounce occur. You know what's interesting is before I came down here, is my studio here where I work and do all this stuff here. This is downstairs, and I was feeling perfectly fine before that time. But like I said, it's probably because right here, there's a door right here, and there's a massive window right here. And right behind there's my bushes. The bushes are all right there, bushes. And then I got a big strip of grass over there. That pollen is coming right through here, I can feel it. So that's a little bit. I'm trying to make sense of this myself while we're filming. OK, but I felt great before I came down. All right. Liquidations add pressure. The sell-off has been accompanied by heavy liquidations across the crypto market. Data from CoinGlass shows that over $411 million worth of positions were wiped out in the past 24 hours, with $351.65 million coming from long positions. The past hour alone saw $63.46 million liquidated, of which $60 million were long positions. This suggests that the sudden dip caught many bullish traders off guard, adding to the price drop. Institutional confidence remains strong. This is what I was just talking about. The institutions are the ones running the game right now. They're the ones to look at to know what the future trajectory of Bitcoin is going to be. And as these prices go down, and I've been seeing the articles saying, well, the retail whales are selling again. If that is true, the companies are going to move in and they're going to buy what has been sold because they want to dominate. And as they do that over time, and who knows how fast that's going to occur, there's no firm way to know. The price will go back up. I mean, logically speaking. It continues here. Crypto asset management firm Bitwise released a report projecting that Bitcoin could reach $1.3 million by 2035. Do you agree with that? Citing a 28.3% compound annual growth rate, the report emphasized that Bitcoin's future growth will be driven by institutional demand rather than retail speculation. So who do you pay attention to more if you want to know how to play the game of Bitcoin? All right. It says indicating that Bitcoin could very well be the next crypto to explode. I think you got to put XRP in that game as well. XRP is in there. Solana is in there. Chainlink is in there. But XRP and Solana, I think, are up next for sure. It says in a bullish scenario, and then the other bank coins follow behind at some point. In a bullish scenario, Bitwise estimates Bitcoin could approach $2.97 million, while a bearish outlook sees it bottoming at $88,000 by 2035. All right, so there you have a little bit of variation there in the predictions. So we're going to close out here today with a little bit of gold news. This article is titled Gold Price Forecast Pushes Higher as Triangle Breakout Nears Confirmation. It begins here. Gold surged to $3,420 on Thursday, testing a triangle breakout with record weekly and monthly closes likely. Momentum points higher, though risk of failure remain. Well, see, I love gold. I firmly believe in gold, and all the catalysts are very solid. Gold extended its advance on Thursday, reaching a 25-day high of $3,420. Trading remained near the day's highs late in the session, with the potential for further gains before the close. The move cleared resistance at the prior swing high of $3,409. The move cleared resistance at the prior swing of $3,409, which failed to hold a sign of buyer strength. Price action also triggered an early attempt to break out of a symmetrical triangle consolidation on a breach of the pattern's upper boundary. A daily close above the triangle boundary will confirm the breakout attempt. Still, a stronger bullish signal requires a rally above the $3,439 swing high, which would provide clearer evidence of sustained buying pressure. Momentum in this rally traces back to the recent swing low at $3,311, but strength must be retained to confirm continuation. A minor pullback or pause before another upside breakout attempt could improve the chances of a decisive breakout. Key support levels to monitor include the 20-day moving average at $3,364 and this week's low of $3,351. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.